Cars on the Road has been out for about a week now, and the most popular question everyone's been asking each other is, what's your favorite episode? Now, for me, this one might be it. I really enjoyed the Haunted Mansion vibe they went for, so it's definitely in the top 3 for me. I love the music during it. I just don't really like the title. I don't feel like Lights Out accurately depicts the haunted house mansion, sentiment they were going for in this episode. But regardless, welcome back, guys. We're going to be going through this episode frame by frame, showing you guys what you might have missed, Easter eggs, hidden details, just breaking it down, just like I did for the Dinosaur Park episode the other day. And yeah, guys, I have 22 points to get through, so let's get started. Number 1 is that Mater has this weird intuition that his rusty bolts and joints are going to tell if the rain's coming or not. So I thought that was a little weird, but it does kind of make sense, actually. I feel like that there is some science to that. But yeah, of course he's right. And they get to Destiny Hotel, which kind of resembles the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror attraction from the Disney parks. But it's also kind of unique in its own way. I love are those giant chimneys at the top? Thought that was pretty cool. Now, I was disappointed to discover that the pamphlet map during the intro is the same one as in the first episode advertising Cartatia Gardens. Come on, Pixar. That's a missed opportunity, and it doesn't really make much sense. If you're going to put that in there for the first episode, it would make sense to change it each time to advertise the new thing they're going for, whether that be Destiny Hotel, whether that be the Salt Flats or Circus Velocitas. Now, it'd get a little tricky once you get to the Bigfoot episode and stuff like that, but I feel like you had to change that up if you did it for the first episode. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Now, the sign for the episode title here is extremely similar to the sign for the Haunted Mansion ride at the Disney parks with that weathered turquoise look. Of course, we meet Randy, a hearse, not the first hearse in the Cars universe though, as there is one in Cars 3 shown briefly in the background. His name is Steve Herschel. We know this because Mattel actually made die-casts of him. And now Randy's gotta be one of my favorite new characters in the series. I love the way he talked. It was really believable, but also not so it was fun in the sense that it was spooky and menacing, but not to the point where it's gimmicky. It still felt pretty believable, and I love that dark red coat of paint he has. Now, it seems as soon as they enter the hotel, all 3 of them, they're immediately dry. You're dry, no water's beating down, and you aren't tracking it on your tires. Thought that's a little strange, but I don't know, I guess you don't want to make a mess. I thought it'd be cool maybe to, have Randy say make sure you wipe your tires on the rug. I thought that might have been cool, but that's just me again. This portrait on the left here looks like the Tailfin Pass from Cars with the waterfall and large forest around it. And a lot of the portraits actually are basically the same thing as that. There's only a couple that show cars, and we'll get to that. Now you can see that the wallpaper has a wrench pattern in it, and when they enter their room, there's an axe on the dresser, which is a reference to the axe in The Shining that is alluded to multiple times throughout the episode. When they go to sleep, it looks like it's about 11:10 p.m. or so, but when McQueen leaves the room, it's about 3:30 a.m. So wow, poor McQueen been insomniac, assuming that he's basically been restless for the last 4 hours or so. That's insane. Now, these portraits are illuminated by the lightning. That's a reference again to the Haunted Mansion attraction, as the pre-show of that ride shows 4 portraits of regular people in their mortal corruptible states, as the ride actually says. That's exactly what they say. But then the room stretches to reveal more of the portraits, and you see that something terribly wrong has occurred. For example, one features a woman over a crocodile pit. Now, the 2 portraits we see here are of an old red car with a maniacal laugh, and the other one seems to be the carification of a minotaur, which is a hybrid between a man and a bull, which reminds me of Frank. Now, McQueen jumps as this gargoyle-esque statue appears, which reminds me of the gargoyles, or rather gargoyles, from London in Cars 2 in the Palace. The next 3 portraits are pretty basic cars, so not much to comment on there, but they all look to be from the same environment. They don't seem to be from different places. It seems to be kind of you can see the pillars in multiple of the portraits. This door says race car, and that's a callback again to The Shining and Red Drum, and how that the letters are flipped so you could see it, both ways in the mirror. But I couldn't find out the significance of this room number here, 717. The shining motif continues as we meet these little girl cars, and they are direct carifications of the girls in The Shining down to the intricacies of their outfits. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I hope that we get die-cast and merchandise of them. Then we got the dancing grills and candelabras, which reminded me a bit of Beauty and the Beast. Now in the ballroom, we see a slew of dancing ghosts. One is even a tractor, which I thought was really funny. I love his expression when McQueen walks or drives in. And now the girls are back in here as well. And then we're introduced to Wraith Rod, who is scatting the song Surfin' Bird. And Wraith literally refers to a ghostly image one sees before death, which makes sense because it looks like his car is literally based on a coffin. Like that looks to be the body of his car. McQueen drives into his grave. That's a little creepy. I wish we got to see like what some of these other graves say. Like, I don't know. This might be going too far, but to see like a Doc Hudson grave, I mean, that's like Spider-Man Far From Home Mysterio type stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe a little too far, but I thought it'd be kind of cool. So now revisiting the clock, and now it reads about 7:15 a.m. So McQueen went on a near 4-hour tear throughout the hotel. Poor guy again. And lastly, we see that Randy, who's the founder of the hotel, was just a ghost this whole time, as the new receptionists call him out. And I absolutely adore the soundtrack during the credits here. Great vibe. Like, oh my God, it's like the perfect soundtrack. I want to like listen to that on repeat. The cast reveals other characters like Lisa and Luis. One must be that receptionist minivan because the pity doesn't talk, so it's not that one. And then the other ghost that McQueen danced with. Even though there were a couple ghosts that talk, it probably was the one that he danced with. And I don't mean to be stereotypical, but Luis is traditionally an older name than Lisa, so for now we're going to call the ghost Luis and the receptionist Lisa. I also love how badass, like Wraith Rod is just such a ghastly badass that he enlisted 2 voice actors for himself. Like one person couldn't just handle it himself. But yeah, guys, that is all I have for you for Lights Out. I was actually, I like this episode a lot, but I was disappointed that there weren't more Easter eggs in the background. There are a lot of portraits, but most of them are just environmental and don't show cars. But even being environmental, they don't look like anything distinguishable. They're very vague. Like the tail fin pass is the best thing that you can, get from them. I also wish that maybe there were a couple other things hidden around here. I don't know, in like the mail slots in the background there, the old cash register. I don't know. I just wish there was something else here. Todd, the pizza plant truck, appears in a lot of the episodes, but he wasn't in this one. I don't think he'll appear. Who's next? Salt Flats. Okay, so Todd will be in the next episode, and Todd's in quite a few episodes, but I guess he's not, in all of them. And so, a little disappointed on that front, but overall, I thought it was a very enjoyable episode, and I'm glad it focused on McQueen a little bit more than Mater, because I do prefer McQueen. Sorry, Mater. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon for another one. Bye now.